Okay, so this is the night of the boot camp, like the first boot camp I did, learning pickup Kane. This is what I wore. I obviously have slightly better fashion sense than I did then, and I'm pretty sure I didn't wear the glasses. But yeah, that's me a long time ago. After this, I'm going to show you guys some videos of me now doing a lot better than that, and there'll also be some of me getting rejected horribly. Last year, I showed a video that was just me looking really awesome. So this year, I'm going to focus on me looking a lot more average, or at least try to. So here we go. So we have a fantastic pickup in progress and a ride all in the same place. That one. Pickup.
Oh shit, look at that. Oh my god.
All right, so who spotted Danny?
I did.
Well done. In this particular ride, there was like 2 or 3 girls, and I didn't put that footage in because of reasons, but there were 2 or 3 girls that were going absolute ham, like grabbing other girls' hair and going nuts. Most boot camps aren't that crazy, but I mean, it was pretty funny at the time. Okay, so next thing I want to show you was something I did last year with 2 people who are here today, and there's not a whole lot of talking. So have a look, what can you see going on? And if it is like far away, feel free to walk up closer, right? This is our famous Giuseppe, not talking at all, but running a set completely non-verbally. So with the gestures he's doing, can you see what he's said to her so far?
No, what are you doing today? Are you eating or what?
What are you doing today, and are you going to go and eat food, was basically it. So this thing means what? This thing, I don't know what this means. I don't remember. You were doing this thing. It was like Minecraft or something.
Oh yeah, so when you're doing this, I mean,
Yeah, so there was something about getting a drink and something about her boobs.
you do this for a bit, put it on verbal, and a bit of smacking and stuff.
That's obviously what?
You look great or something.
Yeah.
And then you really like the girl.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That is something like, can you swim? Or do you have some sort of debilitating physical disease? That was a shoe thing? I'm not too clear on that.
Like,
Yup.
listen well. And like it means you listen well. It means you do exactly as I say. You know? She's like, oh, okay. And then I was like, remind me of this girl from the movie, but you haven't seen that.
Do you remember what that is?
No.
This is something about him either asking age or how many people you're meeting up with today. Something like that.
Maybe it was the time. I don't know.
Oh, it could be. Like what time you're going.
Sex partners.
There was a lot of hand movements there, so it's kind of unclear, right? That's like we should eat together, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's definitely we should eat together. So you can see pointing, this gesture, me eating. You, myself, together eating, right? And what's the girl doing?
Nodding. No, she's also doing just.
Yeah, she's gesturing back. Some girls will assume you can't speak for some reason, and they find this very low pressure, so they respond quite well to it if you have good subcomms. If you don't, then it's just, you can't do it. This was what? A joke about... Yeah. The pink shorts, the pink scarf thing, and the pink wallet. Purse.
Korean guys act in that obsessive way of like stalking, and so a lot of girls have said that they do like that because they feel that the guy cares about them. If you like.
So I mean, that's, in total it's probably about a 2 to 4 minute set, but pretty much the entire set was run with no talking and gets number close from it.
Where is it? Is it the mall?
Yeah, it's just the downstairs area of the metro here. All right, so this is a 2 set. And you can see that they're like laughing at it because they're not really sure what's going on, but they think it's kind of fun. And they're also a bit like, well, this is sort of confusing. And here the girl's saying like, what do you mean? What's going on? And this is the ground because I'm fucking terrible at shooting video. And now the wingman's in, right? And it's still all non-verbal. Do the shaking hands thing to lock one down. So that was do the shaking hands thing to lock one down.
So yeah, they just completely don't get along. And
No one really cares, dude. I mean, they're just busy doing all their own stuff. So I told them they could talk eventually, say a few minutes in, so you may or may not see that, depending on the set. But you kind of get the point, right? I mean, to roll up and not even talk and be able to hold attention and do this sort of stuff, you're doing pretty well.
Can I ask very quickly, how do the girls react after you've been not speaking for a few minutes and then you start to speak?
Oh, it's really fun. Like, especially because if you know their language, like they'll say something in like Korean, and then I'll just like knowledgeable, like, oh my god, like you speak Korean. So they like freak out because they have no idea, what's going on with you.
yeah, I had some funny ones where like after I got the girls kind of talk, it didn't say a single word the whole set, and then I like sent her a long message in Korean. I was like, oh, it was nice to meet you. You know, like you're really kind or something like that. And then she, what? You speak Korean? Like. Well, so I'm gonna add you both in to chill, and when I do that, you're gonna pretend that he doesn't exist.
So anyway, you can see that they're BT spiking the girls by doing like cutesy stuff, right? Now this girl's like a bit more hooked than the other girl for whatever reason, but you can see Joe's like constantly doing things to keep her engaged. And most people in pickup go, oh, I need to have the right things to say. But when you remove that equation, you can see it's really more about your behavior and the amount of pressure and fun you bring into it.
I said, look, do you need me to like help you mediate or anything like that to sort it out?
So for most guys we teach, they're not really very expressive when they start doing pickup because they're used to just being like, hi, my name's Tom, what's your name? Oh, okay. But you can see when they're doing anything, it's a lot more. And this is upping the ante a bit because now we've got like 3 girls and there's a shit ton of expressiveness that happens here. And then the girls start doing it back. I think that was you doing the chokey chokey. You were like, I love it.
You talked about having good subcomms. Can you just explain what that means?
Sure. So having good subcomms is essentially your one, good posture and body language. So like this here compared to this here is quite different, right? In what it makes people feel. It's not what they logically perceive, but it's what they feel. The second thing is that it's about your ability to express either emotion or confidence or certain traits via your posture and how you behave. So if you do the handshake where someone gives you the weak sponge hand, that just feels gross to everyone, right? Whereas if you do a handshake where it's firm and conveys confidence, people feel a lot better. So when you saw those two interacting with girls, they're not putting a lot of pressure on the girls, but they're doing things which are making the girls very curious or interested. And that's a very key component in pickup because girls have seen it all before. They've got the 1,000-cock stare, right? In case that's not clear, the 1,000-yard stare, war, being, yeah. So when you bring something different to the table, I'm not walking over here now. When you bring something different to the table, you'll find that girls respond a lot better because they've never seen it before. It's a lot more fun. And there's a famous song that was, girls just want to have fun. Is that clear? Yeah. Fantastic. This one, in case you can't see it, is I have a boyfriend, Kamikaze. Okay, it's the girl behind me in black. I haven't seen her face yet. I don't know if she's good looking or not. Kamikaze, motherfucker. Hello, random girl. 等一下，你会讲中文吗? I said, stop. Can you speak Chinese?
哦，挺好。我看到你，没有看到脸，看到身体，我觉得哇，特别好看。
So I saw you from behind. I thought your body was really good, but I had no idea about the face, so I'd come and look.
I want to point out something. That you noticed that Kane positioned himself kind of in the direction where the girl was going to go if she was ejecting from the set. Very important to note that.
So we'll go through the whole thing and we'll go back for it just a sec.
所以我来了，搭讪。
So I said, yeah, you look really good and I want to come see your face and here I am, so I'm approaching you now.
我来了，我在搭讪你。
And then she's a bit slow, so I repeated it again. I said, I'm here to approach you.
我没说我想做你的男朋友，
And she was like, I have a boyfriend. And then I said, well, I didn't say I wanted to be your boyfriend.
就搭讪你一下，
And I said, yeah, just like approach you, maybe pick you up a bit.
很友好的搭讪。
And I said, very friendly picking up, not like some sort of unscrupulous pickup.
等会儿，还在跟你聊天。
And then I'm like, hey, stop. And then she's like, no, I'm leaving. So that's my general attitude. If things don't go well, it's like, well, it was kind of funny, so let's just go and do it again. Watch her reaction in about the first second.
Hello, random girl.
She immediately turns to walk away, right? She's immediately said, nope, don't want to be involved in this. So if I just stand there and like don't move in front of her again a little bit, she'll just directly leave. But then when I try, it gets her to stop and gives me a few more seconds.
等一下，你会讲中文吗？哦，挺好。我看到你。
The other important thing is in the beginning I spoke English to her. She's just like, can't do English. And when I started speaking Chinese, she's like, oh, okay, I understand what he's saying now. So that's a really important factor regardless of what language you speak, because it's easy to go in and be like, hi, you look really beautiful. I'd like to get to know you. My name's Kane. And she's like, what does that mean? If you're like, hi, you are very beautiful. I would like to get to know you. My name is Kane. She can probably pick that apart and get some of it. Any questions about that so far?
In normal time, like when she leaves, like would you go after her or something and try that?
My rule is kind of open twice, and if after that they're not really going to go with it, then just set them free. Because then Sasha Day Games got something, we did it like 9 times in a row. Sasha Day Games sexually assaulted me at one of the summits, just to throw that out there. So he's got a thing where he'll like try and push the girl to stop like 9 times in a row or something. It's a video on the internet with this, and I think it's pointless because after the second time, it's either the girl's not interested or she's just like feeling way too much pressure to bother doing it. It's just not going to happen. But trying once is not enough, in my opinion. You should always try, and if she's like, meh, try again, and then nothing, okay, stop.
Did I hear correctly? You said, hey, random girl at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that just for joke or is it?
I think it's funny. So she doesn't even know what I said. Most girls won't clearly hear your opener unless you're like waving from a distance and they're looking at you, because there's about a 1 to 2 second lag in people noticing something and then being able to process what's occurring in front of them. So that's why most of the time with my thing, I'll be like, hi, stop. And after I've done that, they're starting to like, oh, talking to me, okay. And then we can actually get it going.
Do you think the fact you used direct opener is a reason why she just wanted to, eject?
Not at all. I think she didn't even understand the words I was saying for the actual opening part. When I said, hey, I want to approach you, and she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend, there's not really enough time to have attraction because I haven't done anything, and she's not really that keen on me, right? If I was handsome Ben, it probably would have gone a little bit differently, but I'm not handsome Ben. Mainly, I don't think there's anything I could have done differently to make that set work a lot better. If I went indirect, I think it would still be the same based on her reaction overall. Oh, can everyone read the words here clearly from anyone in the back? If not, please like come forward a bit. I spent God knows how long translating this. So.
Yo, 美女，你会讲中文吗？Can you 讲中文？
I said, can you 讲中文? So this is what I call a confusion opener. It's not, I wouldn't do it if you're new to game. And it can sometimes be bad, but it's always funny. So that's mainly why I do it. Yeah, I'm not suggesting do it, but it is funny.
可以。
But anyway, you can speak English too, so that works.
万一
Okay, so just to jump back to show you guys a key point for a sec. Yo, 美女，你会讲中文吗？你会不 Can you 讲中文？ All right, so the next thing I said was, can you speak English? Oh, you can speak English, yeah? How do I know she can speak English?
She said John.
Yeah, used English words. If you say hello to a girl and she says like hello in an incredibly strong accent, probably not much English. But if she's like, hello, my follow-up is always, oh, you speak English. Awesome. Why do you speak English? I immediately jump on that because someone who's used to speaking will say the word a lot more clearly, and it's very good to notice. You'll find, if you watch carefully, I'm like messing with her attention a lot of the time, trying to like put it over here, put it over there to keep her off balance. I don't think I do anything that great in this set other than I have like really good eye contact almost all the way through. My body language has like a few kind of iffy points at some points you'll see, but whatever, keep going. I said, can you 讲中文?
可以。
But anyway, you can speak English too, so that works.
My English is poor.
All the Chinese people like to say that.
Yeah, I'm Chinese people.
Yeah, but all Chinese people say. So can you see her nervousness? This is not bad nervousness. This is just like, oh, it's a foreigner and he's talking to me, and I don't know quite what to do with that, but I am okay with the situation so far. So that's why when I say all Chinese people say that, she's like, oh, he's saying I'm Chinese? Oh, yes, I'm Chinese. She doesn't quite understand, and that's again why I repeat myself. Anytime girls say, oh, my English is poor, just re-emphasize a bunch of times that it's actually really good, even if it is terrible. Hey, my English is poor, and your English is actually quite good.
No.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
really poor.
Why do you think it's poor? If we can talk, then it's probably good, right?
Thank you.
She still doesn't believe her English is good, but I've given her face. I've made her feel that we can communicate and she's not going to look dumb. And that's important for especially Chinese girls because they're always worried about status and how they compare to everyone else. So it's a really important thing to do, I think, with most Asian girls just because it takes the pressure off the interaction with them. And for them, I mean, try and put yourself in that position. You're some like small Asian girl with no self-esteem or people who give you self-esteem, and some random dude comes up to you and starts speaking in a foreign language and you have no experience in this, so you're supposed to know what to say and do. I mean, there's a lot of pressure for them. So anything you can do to make things a bit lighter on them is good. There you go. I'm Kane.
Yes, nice to meet you.
What's your name?
My name is.
这个名字是你自己选的或者？
对，我自己选。
啊，不错。Lots of people get their teacher, their 大学老师, to give them a. So I'm basically just saying a bit of like low pressure fluff. Now, the reason I'm mentioning university is there's a very good chance that she's going to go, oh yeah, I'm still a university student, or she's going to go, oh, I have a job now, blah, blah, blah. You can throw out these bits of information to see how they respond, and they might just give you what you want to know without you having to ask, which is always grand. A name.
No, 是我工作之后自己挑的。
哦，你已经工作了。
对。
No. All right. See my level of expressiveness there. I wasn't just like no, right? What did I do? With my body, with my feet. So have another quick look.
对。
No. You still look like a 大学生.
我今年刚。
So I went from like side to side and I looked her body up and down. How do you think that made her feel? Maybe. Or it's flirty and she feels somewhat validated by it because there's a guy that she's like having fun talking to, paying her essentially a non-verbal compliment, right? So there's a little bit of a sexual element to this, but again, it's not a lot. And then, of course, I'm complimenting her on her youth. I mean, this is always good to do. Even if it's blatantly untrue. Girls know that you're like saying it just because, but they still love hearing it.
No, I'm still 大学生，大一。
You're a freshman.
Do you believe me?
No, I can't believe it.
Yeah. I look very old, right? So far she's standing, facing me. She's responding really well. Basically, there's no problems with this Sarge, except there is a question I forget to ask, which will make sense at the end when you go, oh, okay. This thing here, I look very old, right? I'm asking this because I'm trying to make her feel somewhat shy or off balance about suggesting that I'm old. Like I'm trying to trap her in that.
52
No.
53
I have something I want to say really quickly. A lot of guys, when they come to Asia, if they haven't done a lot of game in Asia, and they run a set that runs like this, they will often think that the set is not going well. And the reason they'll think it's not going well is because the girl is not responding at rapid pace, and they're not talking a lot. Because in the West, girls will talk a lot, and in Asia, they just won't. You know, part of that is just like a cultural thing. Part of it is, you know, they're shy about using language. But, you know, she's staying there like he was saying. So I just want to point out that if you're having sets like this, they're not bad. That's just how it is.
Another good thing to watch throughout this is where I like lag a bit or I don't do things great and then how I continue. So based just on his point. So anyway, I suggest that I'm like super old, 52 or 53.
How old are you?
Have a guess.
Have a guess is always better than just telling her. Makes it more fun, gives her more stuff to do.
20 years old?
This says gives the girl a judgy look. Whenever you talk to the girl and you're getting to guess something, if she guesses wrong, look at her as if you're like, really? That's what you would guess? It's an emotional thing, right? You imagine you come home from school and you give your parents your report card and they look at you and they're like, really? There's a lot of emotion happening there. Do the same thing with girls. You don't have to go to some acting school to do this stuff. You just have to think, when you're talking to chicks, what emotion do I want to display and how to do that, right? If a girl guesses my country wrong and says like America, right? Sometimes I'll go and pretend to be upset. It's all good fun for them. Girls are emotional junkies. They need this stuff to feel happy and connect with you.
No. 18.
I don't know what's going on here. I don't. She's not even trying to be sweet. I think she's just a bit ditzy. So more judgy looks.
But in China, a freshman is...
And I wrote down the bottom, she still actually thinks I'm a freshman, just in case you can't see that.
我不可能是 freshman 好吧？我没有头发，胡子那么长，没有什么 freshman 是这样子。
25.
大一点，就差不多32。
32 ？What?
Yeah, 真的。
30几
？32。
32 Oh my god.
So she said, oh my God, right? Just remember that phrase for a little bit later.
You lied to me.
没有，我刚刚告诉你。
你刚才说你
对啊，那个是开玩笑，
大一啊
那个是开玩笑，没有人会相信我是大一。
哦，太天真了。
So, what are you doing for work?
So why am I going from Chinese to English to Chinese to English? So she's having an experience she can't normally have. And the fact that I keep swapping between Chinese and English makes it really hard for her to keep up, even though that's hard for her already. But mainly, if you can speak the native language and English, and they speak some English, it's always good to throw it in because they have to think about it, and you can operate much faster than they can.
Manager.
She's some sort of manager thing. I don't know. It made no sense.
Agent.
Of what?
No. 客户经理应该是。
客户经理。
应该是 manager。
经理是 manager， 客户好像是什么？所以有什么明星，然后你管理他们，或者是 manage 什么东西
？manage， 就看你可以理解成sales。
Sales。
Yes。
Okay.
然后不是面对金融。
Oh, okay. So do you like it or?
So. I don't really care what she does as a job at this point. I mean, it's not really fascinating or interesting to me based on what she's telling me. If she said she was like a jockey and rode horses every day, that would be really interesting and I would care. Mainly, I just need to get information about her to understand her schedule and her life. I am painting this picture of who she is, and then I'm trying to do the same thing in reverse. Or not like it.
I like it.
And is it 很赚钱? Making lots of money?
Maybe.
Right, so what did I do when I talked about money? Made the universal make it rain sign, right? It's fun. Do that stuff. It's just like playing miming games with anybody, but just do it with chicks on the street. With her liking her job or not, I mean, mainly I'm asking this because it lets me know where I should continue in the conversation. If she says, oh yeah, I love it, it's fantastic, great thread to go down. She said, I like it, but she wasn't like, it's great. It was just like, oh, I like it, it's okay. So I try not to talk about that too much more.
In the future.
那不错。我觉得你很young。
Also with this girl, I struggled a bit to go into any sort of deep qualification with her, as there wasn't much for me to dig up, and I just wasn't doing a great job of it at the time.
阳光.
Yeah, 你一直在。
So this is something I usually do when I have the situation. I tell the girl, wow, you look like a very positive, happy person, and I like that for X reasons.
在笑你，对这个挺好。
Did you see how she reacted to that? She giggled and was happy.
真的，因为有一些人他们走路就很没有情绪，所以你的样子，就。
So I said most people walk around being all like lame and emotionless, and I actually was like doing the motions, role play stuff, right? It makes it more interactive. It's easier to hold her attention. It's much easier to stimulate her emotion. Just as you guys saw with the non-verbal stuff they were doing in the prior video.
啊，你能看得出我是什么地方吗？
Russia.
And you can see here she's like melting down. She's expended all the countries she knows and she's just melting down. It's done. Her brain's done. Look, geography overload.
你很可爱，做 Oh my God.
England.
No.
乌克兰.
Yeah. No. 乌克兰和俄罗斯差不多。
Ah, oh my god. Oh my
God
god.
can't
So she said, oh my God, oh my God. Then
help you. 你刚才说 Oh my God， 你是让 God 帮你知道我是什么地方，他帮不了。我的国家，我告诉你，我国家有一些动物是很有意思的，每一个人听过这个动物。
So I'm getting her to guess, and obviously she's never going to get there because she just doesn't have enough of a map about foreign people, right? In these situations, don't just leave the girl with that much pressure. Relieve it by giving her hints, which leads her to the right answer more easily. You really have to be aware of how she's reacting and how much you should be giving her and helping her and how much you should just be letting her like explode.
Australia.
Also, I've very rarely looked away from her for the entire interaction. Does anyone else notice that? Always do that. It's like being a snake charmer.
And can I just make a point? You've kind of shifted around and now you're leaning up.
I've locked in, yeah. Good point. You should always try and lock in if you can, because it puts you in just a better position in terms of how you look and in terms of your body language and just everything.
你去过吗？
No.
去，真的。
So I always ask girls, have you been to Australia? And if they say no, then I'll just like tell them they should go there and some reasons, like you'd be really popular, you'd be married the day you get off the plane or something like that. Or I'll do something that he like does and then I saw it and I do it too, which is you say, have you been there? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh, would you like to go there at some point? And they're like, oh yeah, it sounds good. And you're like, okay, let's go to Australia. And you link arms with them and like walk off. And you usually get about 1 or 2 steps before they're like, we're going? Oh. And they like try and pull back a bit. I've always been sort of confused as to why they pull back, because on some level it means they believe you guys are actually going to Australia. But
Can I just say something else about this? You know, like if the girl is like really like, if she's like, oh, like really like that, then you can say like, oh, do you have your passport? And she'll be like, no. And you're like, oh, we can't even go. And so like, you know, if she's not really responding that well, you just like can throw it back at her in that way.
Well played.
Wow, it happens sometimes to me. They don't respond exactly as I want.
Yeah, so there's all that low self-esteem from no family.
那边中国人特别多。
我姐在澳大利亚已经。
So they always say this to me. I have some family member who lives in Australia, and that's great. Usually I ask like which city. They're presenting some input. They're having some input into the thread, and then I'll continue that just a bit because it gives me some useful information. This is one of the details that you could remember and say, oh, you said your sister lives in Australia, and mention that to her later. It's a personal thing about her. It's not huge, but it's still a good detail to remember. If you record yourself in field, you can go back and check all the detail.
已经定居了，移民了，了解。
So she said, my sister lives in Australia. If I just said, oh, okay, what happens then? Yeah, thread's done. So what did I do? I said, why haven't you gone there to visit her, right? It's getting her to get deeper into this Australia situation and explain it to me.
那你为什么没有去见他？
本来那会儿想出国留学去澳洲，然后后来没有考雅思，然后就大学毕业直接就来上海。
So she said I wanted to go there and I was studying to do so, but I failed the test, I couldn't go. So then I came to Shanghai to find work. And then I've been like, well, there's not much more I want to do with this thread, so let's skip that.
OK， 所以你只是要赚钱，然后可以去旅行。
I want to go.
不，很多中国人喜欢那边，因为漂亮。
So I did like a poor job of following up on this topic. I think I've said Australia's great, it's beautiful, it's kind of like Yunnan in China, so she has a reference point and good food, good air, whatever. I really should have gone with like, well, if you haven't left China and someone gave you a free airplane ticket anywhere in the world, you can go anywhere, like tomorrow. Where do you want to go? And then why, right? That would give me far more useful information. So just as a reference point.
吃得好，什么都好。
对，那边环境很好。
我觉得那边跟云南有一点像。你去过云南吗？
云南去过。
那边树很多，空气很干净，都很舒服，很漂亮。我的城市和大部分的澳大利亚就是这样子。
So we're already obviously past the hook point where she's like agreed to stand there and engage with me. As Sage was mentioning, initially that nervous part, it was when that was in a bit of doubt. And then when she stopped and we're having this let's get to know each other in our detailed conversation, we're already past that. She's engaged enough to stand there and we can start talking about more general things rather than just trying to like be funny.
Major.
Her asking, what is your major? In my opinion, Chinese people do this because they want to figure out where you fit on the status ladder. And you could call it a rapport-seeking question because they're trying to understand more about you. They're making an effort to get to know personal information beyond just like generic rubbish.
哲学。
What?
哲学。Philosophy.
就是不是一般人能理解。
Yeah, well.
所以你是老师吗？还是？
差不多，我是做培训，所以有一些外国人，他们想在中国，就是做经理或者想让他的公司在中国更能卖得掉他们的东西，然后我会培训他们，因为我比较理解中国的文化和社交，可以说社交规则和沟通方式。
I'm like casually saying I understand China pretty well, but I'm not trying to be too boasty about it. I'm just saying, yeah, it's like this job I do. And for her, that's really good because the main mental block for a lot of Asian girls is this guy is not going to understand my culture, or he's not going to fit in, and it's going to be all awkward and stuff, right? This is also why it's really good, especially for China, to know small cities in like different provinces. Because almost any place a girl comes from, I can be like, oh, you're from this city or this city or this city. I know enough that I almost always get it right. And they're shocked because their city's like somewhere no one's ever heard of, or at least foreigners wouldn't know it.
不一样。所以问外国人你要不要去那边，他就说 yes 或者 no。你问中国人，他们说啊应该可以。
So I'm just giving a kind of rubbish example of how the foreigners and Chinese are different, so she can kind of get that more. Because, okay, you have to understand from her perspective, she doesn't get what foreigners are other than some weird TV stereotypical view. So it's good when you meet people like that to try and give them information that they can understand your world and what you're about outside of the stereotypes which may cause a lot of damage to the Sarge. Typical stereotypes that Chinese people have about foreigners are like foreigners like hairy, we smell bad, we just want to have sex, we're going to go back to our country, which is probably true for a lot, and yeah, the lower end Chinese people think we're rich, which is usually the opposite. Like Chinese people are obviously way more rich than most foreigners in China. Oh, and it is great if you know the stereotypes that whatever people have about foreigners in that country, to bring those up and blame them for thinking that way, so then they'll deny that and you can operate more cleanly in this interaction. So like, if you say, oh, have you met any foreigners before? And the girl's like, no, I haven't. And you're like, why? Do you think foreigners are all like playboys or something? And she's like, oh, no, I don't think that. And you'll be like, oh, that's really good. Because, I mean, I guess there maybe are some, but I've seen a lot of Korean playboys. I mean, have you been to the club before? It was so rude. I saw so many Korean dudes just like grabbing girls. I wanted to call the police. I mean, shocking, right? And then she's going to be like, well, I can't really think of him as a playboy because it's going to seem really bad. So if you bring that up first, you can use that more effectively.
Yeah, 我考虑一下，不会很直。
Very interesting.
She says it's interesting because she doesn't know what to say. Her, I don't know, age, social level, ability to interact with foreigners, she doesn't really have a model to go, oh, I should now ask you how long you've been doing that and how did you start and all these other kind of typical questions you ask when you meet someone. So I need to recognize that and work within that. Essentially, I need to recognize her conversational limits. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making things very, very clear in a way she can understand.
Yeah, it's not bad. 你可以让你看得出人的肢体语言和什么衣服，然后要了解他们，也跟一些销售的技巧差不多。
那你在中国应该待多久？
很长的时间，9年。
9年。蛮厉害的。
So I answer the question and then I just like let it hang so she has pressure to keep talking, because if I now pick up her topic, I'm just going to have to keep talking.
你是本地人对吗？
Oh no, I don't. No, I ask her where she's from. There you go.
不是。
那是什么地方？
西安。
西安。
So this topic leads on to the one we just had, which is how long have I been in China, right? If I figure out where she's from, if she's from Shanghai, all right, great. Probably all her life. If she's not, then it's semi-related to the topic that she just started with me.
哦，就是有那个，耶的，那你就是刚刚毕业之后来上海吗？
今年毕业直接来上海，然后过了3年。
那你是跟家人在这边一起住，或者就一个人过来？
我一个人。
很勇敢。
So I always say this. I asked, "Are you here by yourself or whatever?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm by myself." And then I tell girls they're very brave, and then I try and give them my experience when I first moved to China. And it's all about making myself seem more relatable in a way that we can both understand and connect. So it's really just finding minor similarities to build the rapport on.
真的，因为我大概23岁，差不多。
The important point is when you're, okay, if you're a magician or an actor or doing anything in terms of storytelling even, stories are lame when you go like, so one day I moved to China from Australia and it was really interesting living here and I made lots of friends and I got a girlfriend and then I got a job and then I've just made some money and that's it, right? But if I say one day I moved from Australia to China, now all of you are like waiting, oh, what's next? Well, it's a storyteller's pause. And a lot of people will just open their mouth and just continue non-stop because they don't want to drop the sarge, right? They don't want it to just fail. But it's good to add pauses because then you can see how the girl's reacting. You can judge her pressure levels.
来了中国，我也一个人。那个时候我觉得什么事情都很难，因为我不懂新的地方。
So when I first moved to China, that was the case. I was like pretty terrible at life. And I'm just trying to match what I think her experience will be based on the fact she seems pretty ditzy.
地方都是这样子。
对，是啊，都是从不会到会的，这个过程慢慢积累吧。
Oh, okay. One other really important thing on this. When you meet Asian girls or anyone who's not a Western person, I guess, you want to kind of look at them from 1 to 10 and go, okay, what is their social skill level? Because a lot of guys will go, oh, Asian girls are boring, they don't have a personality, there's nothing to talk to them about, they just like shop and eat and sleep. And while that's true for some, those some are usually trash, like girls just, I hope none of us would ever date. And yeah, girls have stuff going on. It's just that their social skill level restricts how much they can put that out there. It's also a bit of a cultural difference. It's not cool to boast about yourself with strangers in China or in most Asian countries. And that's why they'll be much more low-key about talking about themselves. So try and judge the girl's social level based on how well she can respond and get involved in the conversation, and then make adjustments to your game. I've been helping her along quite a bit simply because I can see she's probably like 4 or 5 out of 10 in terms of social skills. 10 out of 10 would be like any of you guys where we can just have a conversation and you'll ask me questions and we can really go into stuff with no kind of speed bumps or stops or freakouts or geography explosions.
那你现在在这儿做什么？
我在。
So what are you doing here today? I should have asked this way earlier. But anyway, so she says, yeah, I'm waiting for my friend to go and have dinner.
等我男朋友去吃饭。
他们让你等很久吗？
对，我还没有看到他的人。
So I said, oh, they made you wait a long time. If you want to be funny, a good thing to do there is you say, oh, they made you wait a long time. And the girl's like, yeah, they did. And you'd be like, well, if you were my friend, I would make you wait even longer. Right? Or you can ask how long they made you wait. And she'll say like 20 minutes. And same deal. If you were my friend, I would make you wait 1 hour. It's just a good chance to beat Spike. So I've asked her what she's doing, and I'm going to tell her what I'm doing because I can't rely on her to then ask me, what are you doing?
我也是，我原来要跟我朋友，我在等朋友，我原来要跟他一起喝咖啡，可是时间越来越急，因为我要回去有一个那个 conference call， 就是要工作，我要工作，回家工作。
还要工作。
She has no idea what conference call means, but I just forgot how to say it in Chinese, and it just is good to add in English because then it slows it down a bit. Basically, I always try to tell girls that I am like somewhat busy with work or I've got something to do just to like take the pressure off a little bit. Plus, I don't want them. Yeah. We'll leave it there.
So 我等人很久了，所以我就会应该跟他一起喝咖啡半个小时，然后要回家继续用电脑工作。
所以你现在已经定居在上海了吗？
我一直在这儿，就是出差的话，就是去什么韩国或者日本，偶尔去。你去过吗？
我还没有去过韩国、日本。听说日本应该还不错，还蛮有意思的。
很有意思。那边很。
Again, when she said she's interested in Japan, I really should have gone like, oh, cool. What is it that you like about it? Anime, Japanese porn, little cat things, like whatever some topics are in Japan that a girl would probably be interested in.
那边和这边的社交和文化就很不一样。在日本什么东西都很可爱。
什么都很可爱。
所以如果你去买什么肉包，就包子。那边买个包子，会有一个很可爱的女孩子戴一个帽子，她会装这个在一个很可爱的小盒子里，盒子上会有什么动画片的人在笑。就
Can you see clearly what I'm doing with my face and hands? It's like a non-verbal overload, right? I'm doing lots of stuff to express the cuteness. At some points during the massage, I like lean back and I like talk a bit and I stop doing as much non-verbal stuff, and then I'll suddenly come in and add a bit more. And this is just affecting the energy levels and distracting her in the right ways. Because movement and emotion will hold her attention much more powerfully than just going like, so, what do you like to do? Oh, okay. And if you just ask questions and stop moving, right?
任何的东西都很可爱。
他们喜欢的文化可能就是卡哇伊啊，这样。
就是。
你的眼睛好漂亮啊，好喜欢这种。
Yes. So she says, your eyes are really gorgeous. I really like your blue eyes. And then I keep the sexy eye contact going, right? I've been staring at her the whole time. I rarely get this comment, but I've got a few things I do to kind of maximize the eye thing. And one example is if you're in a club, or you can do it in day game, but I just usually do it in the club for some reason. You ask a girl, do you know what my eye color is? Now doing it in the club is good because it's dark and they can usually just guess. But the thing is they'll lean in and have really strong eye contact with you. So at that point, you can do the whole Casanova face and just like stare them in the eyes, or you could do like a funny face, you could do a sexual face, you could do a whole bunch of different things to cause an emotional reaction. The main point is that eye contact is very, 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 very key. There is some like study done by some nerds where they got a bunch of university students who probably didn't know each other or something. Guys and girls sat there, no talking, staring at each other. X amount of months later, heaps of them were banging each other. Heaps. I think a bunch even got married, right? So even though they didn't have verbal rapport by talking, eye contact really does do a really solid thing. If you want to understand this further, find a partner, don't do this, but you can do it later. Find a partner, stand like 10 centimeters away from each other and awkwardly look into each other's eyes. It'll be super gay and you'll feel super uncomfortable, but that's because we're dudes, right? For the girl, it's like romantic and there's some level of sexual tension and it's exciting for them. Now, the other way you can flip this around is you can play coy by you look in the girl's eyes and then you tell her, stop looking at me like that. You're making me shy. I'm saying that she's having an effect on me, which makes it seem like I'm not trying to pick her up and that not necessarily like she's chasing me, but it's like giving her a very strong level of validation. And the more kind of gangster version of this is if you're talking to a girl that's got a lot of cleavage, right? And as you're discussing something with her, you just like put your hand up, not on the cleavage, but like blocking the cleavage from your sight. And she'll be like, what's happening for about 3 seconds. And then she'll be like, oh my God, ha ha ha. Because you're pointing out the cleavage without pointing out the cleavage.
所以我会买一些美瞳，也是你这个颜色，但是亚洲人戴上就会很奇怪。
我觉得你涂这个颜色是可以的。
我瞳孔的颜色本来就是这个颜色，但是我蛮喜欢蓝色的。
那你也可以戴那个蓝色的隐形眼镜。
是，我就说买的那个隐形眼镜是蓝色，但是看上还是蛮奇怪的。
Yeah, but 这个差不多是你戴这个，你有一点担心别的人会看你，觉得你奇怪。如果你戴那个蓝色的隐形眼镜，你自己觉得奇怪，因为不是你正常的一个样子，然后别的人看你也有可能会这么想。
但是蛮个性的，但是可以装一下混血。
Yeah, 所以我觉得你戴一下也挺好看。
谢谢。
如果下次我见到你戴那个，我会好漂亮。
So what is Kane doing here? Yeah, I'm implying we'll meet again, right? And I'm trying to connect good emotion to that by saying, well, I hope you appear in some sort of fashion next time we meet.
I just want to say that, sort of what Sage was talking about earlier is also happening here because you're sort of validating her for something that her friends kind of ripped into her about.
Yeah, well said.
So we can be friends.
Sure we can.
Dun dun dun. So this is why I should have asked. So I should have asked much earlier, hey, what are you doing today? And oh, you're waiting for your friend. Is it a handsome guy or a beautiful girl? She said, I'm waiting for my friend. And I didn't like add the next part I should always normally do add. Yeah, she said she's waiting for her friend. She didn't say boyfriend, and that's her signaling, hey, I don't want to let you know I've got a boyfriend because I want you to bang me. I asked them, what are you doing today? You like going to go shopping or eat food or waiting for your friend or what? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for my friend. And I was like, oh, is your friend like a handsome guy or a beautiful girl? And they'll be like, oh, it's my friend. And that means it's a guy. Or they'll say, oh, it's a girl. And if it's a girl, you're like, yeah, 2 beautiful girls, high five. And then I usually go like, ooh, is your friend more beautiful than you? And she'll be like, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, no, you are number 1. You're definitely the most beautiful. Right? So that's typically how I do that. And it's not super apparent, but she, I think, was aware that the boyfriend was just rocking up, and that's why she said the friends thing. I think.
院长，你打那个我会，好漂亮啊！我不会。
We can be friends.
Sure. So it looked like he's like rocking. She saw him rocking up.
Hey, what
This
are you
is
doing,
my
man?
boyfriend.
You look very cool.
Why am I telling this cool? Well, in terms of Chinese culture and face, he should reciprocate with, oh, haha, you too, man, thanks, yeah. And although he's left, but on Matt's boot camp, I had a thing where I was like showing him where I was gaming some girl and some dude rocked up. And essentially I just give the dude heaps of face. I'm like, wow, man, you look so cool, you must have heaps of girls, and tell him how awesome he is. And then he'll just reciprocate. Plus it limits his behavior. It limits him from being able to be a dick. Now, I don't know how well this will apply in every country. I can say certainly in China it's this way. Other countries, maybe they'll care, maybe they won't, depending. So I put my hand out and I was like, hey man, you look cool. I'm not doing this, I'm here to fuck your girl, right? I'm just like, yo, what's up? Keeping it casual and friendly. That's what you should always do anytime a guy appears. No point being aggressive or fearful, just be casual and cool.
You look very cool.
He's a model. He's a model.
So he's a model. It's not really that important to me, but hey, thanks for telling me. Goodbye, self-esteem.
模特。
Yeah.
也是西安人吗？或者什么地方
No.
No. I come from Shandong.
Oh, cool.
So basically, I couldn't be bothered translating everything he's saying. I'll just like tell you. Anyway, I was at this point going like, well, good job, Kane. You've fucked this one up. Got to be doing Darwin's boot camp next year, right? So I was like, yeah, I guess I'm just not going to continue with this because I'd feel kind of bad. Sometimes there's situations where a girl has a boyfriend and you going for the girl is fine. There are some things where the boyfriend and the girl don't even bang and the relationship is terrible. So it could actually be a good thing for her, therefore also a good thing for you. There are other times where I'm like, I really don't want to get involved in someone else's mess and make it more messy. So in this scenario, I typically just would be like, meh, and find another girl. Because imagine the conversation they would have had after this, right?
威海，就离那个青岛不远，对吧？
So he said he's not from the same place as her. He's from a small city called Weihai. And then I said, oh, is it close to this other city? And I tell him a bit about when I went to that city. And it's just like developing basic rapport to make everything chill.
我有一次去青岛那边的啤酒街。
你连青岛啤酒街知道？您是哪里人？
So he asks me where I'm from. And I tell him.
澳大利亚。
澳大利亚。
对，那你们现在去
And I'm like, okay, so you guys
这边
are
或者
And she's like, yes, we're going to have dinner. And then...
No.
Okay.
So, are we friends?
Sure.
The chat?
Yeah, that would work.
So I was shocked. Because, I mean, look at me, right? I'm a little bit pudgy here. He's like a model. I'm like, what's wrong with this girl? But okay, we'll go with it. So, I mean, her number closing me in front of the boyfriend, this does not happen regularly, right? This is not a normal Kane experience. I was shocked. And he actually handles it quite well. He doesn't like freak out. He's like, well, this is a shitty situation, but I'm just going to be a bit chill and it'll go away, hopefully. Yeah, of course he's going to be uncomfortable. But I mean, I've seen many people react way worse than this in these sort of situations. Anyway, so that's basically it for this. Like, she scans my QR code for WeChat, which is the best application you can use. Everyone should get on that. And then they like go off to argue somewhere in some restaurant. I would say by far the best time I've ever had the boyfriend turn up was when it was actually a lesbian. And it was like Starbucks window here, girl inside Starbucks. I wave at girl, I take out phone, I type, you are cute. Show her the phone through the window. she'll look at it, get on her phone, type back to me and show it to me. So we do this for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then I say, oh, what's your phone number, right? And she types a phone number. So then I like type it in and I call her because I think it's cool. Now I'm like calling her from outside Starbucks, and this is a very different experience. And she gets on the phone and I'm like, yeah, it's really good to meet you. You look so cute, blah, 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 blah. And then her butch lesbian girlfriend comes along and sees that I've like picked her up through the window. She's holding 2 things of coffee, hurls that in the air, grabs one of the things off the table and runs out of Starbucks. The cute girl I'm trying to get grabs her like book and whatever it was on the table, runs out of Starbucks, and then they run around the mall screaming at each other for about a good 20 minutes. Eventually they find me, and the butch lesbian's like about this tall, and the hot girl's, oh, okay, maybe this tall and about this tall. And the butch lesbian's like kind of like an angry hobbit, and I feel kind of terrible. So I'm like, look, it's fine, we're just playing a game, it's no problems. Because I feel really bad, right? But it was a pretty awesome experience. So this one is called, what was it? Pointless number close, no hook. This is exactly what a pointless number close looks like when you push things to make it happen when the girl's like not interested. There's a tiny bit of Chinese at the front, but then she speaks English. Oh my God, bags, watch, 不要, okay. 不要. So this is like a person trying to get me to go to the fake market. They're showing me a thing, and whenever they do this, I'm like, oh my God, bags, yeah, and I just ignore them. 已经有很多. So the reason why I'm walking around a little bit strange is that just now when that person came up, that like disrupted me from opening. So I need to wait until I've got the correct positioning to do so. If I like tried to open while this person's like trying to teabag me or something, it would have made the feng shui very fucked up. Yo, 美女，听一下. I said, hey, pretty girl, stop. And then look where I'm standing in front of her, as autistic as my legs look. I'm trying to get in front of her enough to get her to stop, but without like totally freaking her out. 我刚刚看到你穿蓝色，我觉得哇. Also, don't ever like do this. This is just really bad. It's just the sunlight was too bright. I should be wearing sunglasses, but this is like terrible to do in the open in this situation where, yeah. At least from a distance is fine. If it's like you're looking, that's kind of cool, but like right next to her, it's just terrible. 要过来跟你聊天。
Thank you.
这会还没说完。你之前你 So I was like, yeah, what's up, pretty girl? I want to talk to you for a sec. Oh, don't leave. I haven't finished talking. 没有跟外国人聊天过吗? And I'm like, is this the first time you've talked to a foreigner before?
Yeah.
Oh, you can speak English really well? And when she says yeah, I immediately know she speaks English, right? Because of how she says it.
I can't speak English.
Why? Hold on, don't go yet. Why? So what did I do?
Stop, don't go.
Well, I threw multiple things. Question, order, question, right? So why? Hold on, don't go. Why? If I'm just like stop, she'll be like meh and leave. So you've got to throw multiple things at them to like overload their processor. Is this your friend? Is that your friend?
No.
Let's go away from him. So the bad guys come up again, right? And he's like trying to bag us. And then I ask the girl, is that your friend? And she's like, no. And I say, let's get away from him. He's creepy.
I can't speak English.
Why? Hold on, don't go yet. Why? Oh, another quick thing. When I said, hold on, don't go yet, I wasn't like, hey, hold on, don't go yet, right? I was like, hold on, don't go yet. I'm making my voice a bit deeper and stronger. Is this your friend? Is that your friend?
No.
Let's go away from him. He's creepy. Let's go away from him. He's scary. I'm talking to you because you're a pretty girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why can you speak English?
Because my job, I need to speak English.
So she said, like, I study English or something. You are a police officer.
No.
You work at McDonald's.
I don't know how to say it. Just my.
You work at the airport.
Yeah, airport.
Really?
Yeah, right.
So I think she did work at the airport. The point is I'm trying to throw stuff at her to hook her. She's like totally not hooked at the moment. Interesting.
Where you come from?
I come from a country called Australia. You know Australia?
Yeah, I know. Because sometimes I speak English.
My friend always say I speak English that looks like Australia.
Her friend said that she speaks English like an Australian, which is totally untrue.
Yeah, a little bit.
You don't have a strong accent. Notice how clearly and slowly I'm trying to speak. I wasn't like, you don't have a strong accent, right? I was like, you don't have a strong accent, accentuating each word. Where are you going now? Because I have to go that way.
I have to find my friend.
Oh, so just before you go, what's your name?
My name, my English name. You can call me Yiting, E-A-T-I-N-G.
Yiting. That is the weirdest name ever, right?
Because my Chinese name, if used in English, looks like Yiting.
Okay, my name, hold on. My name is Kane.
其实温度不高，但是
凯恩。
OK。
那你跑多前，给我你微信，我在微信上跟你聊天。Because she said she's going, and I can see she's like really not hooked. I mean, look where her feet are pointing, right? I'm like, all right, well, just give me a WeChat and we'll talk on WeChat.
我现在要去找。
对，我也要这边走，所以我不打扰你，你就加一下，然后我们在微信上 blah blah blah.
So just now she was like, oh, I'm going to go. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But, and then I'm pushing a bit harder.
OK， 我找你。你是中国什么地方的？
I come from China.
中国什么地方？中国有很多地方。
So I said, whereabouts in China are you from? And she's like, I come from China. And then I said, no, what place? And she said, it's a secret.
Secret? Ooh, 这是在北方吗？
I have to go first.
All right, bye-bye. So she barely asked any questions and barely got involved with the interaction, and that's why it is pointless.
I'm just going to say one thing. A lot of guys will just number close girls with an interaction like that. They think they're doing well, and that's totally wrong. The point of number closing and time bridging is not just to do that thing. It's not like I got a number, therefore the set was good. The point of doing it is to gauge how well the set is going. Because if a girl is going to time bridge, or agree to meet you at a future date, or she expresses interest in that, then that means that you ran the set pretty well, right? So you don't want to just pointlessly number close her just because it's not going well.
Although I do want to say that that it's a normal developmental stage as you learn game to learn to be able to get girls to give you their numbers even if they're not interested, because that is one of the skills for because obviously you watch this and a lot of guys they can't do that. The girl's not interested, but they just keep holding on to her attention and running things, maybe keep it a bit fun so that she goes, sure, okay. And so, but generally you want to move beyond that at some point so that you go, okay, I can get lots of girls' numbers, now I need to make sure that girls are actually keen.
All right, so who remembers the mad scientist thing from yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
This is me definitely being a mad scientist. I decided to go out and just record videos of me pushing as hard as I can to go as far as I can with girls where it's totally ridiculous. So this is not an example of game you should run. It's a very good example of what you can do if you want to be a mad scientist and what's actually possible if you push with a strong frame, if you can run things way faster than they can, and you can control their attention in a very good, strong way.
两个美女听 ，yes， 觉得你们挺好看。
谢谢。
So, no subtitles this one, so I think you two are really good looking, so stop for a sec.
你之前有没有外国人亲过你的手？
I think I said it's like, is this the first time you had a foreigner kiss your hand?
第一次吗？
是第一次。
有什么感觉呢？
And I said, how did it feel?
觉得他有什么感觉？你是他朋友？
And then I said to the friend, what did you think she felt? Because the friend was like getting on the phone, and I wanted to bring their attention into the set.
他的脸。
And then the friend just confused and laughed, but that's fine, because it BT spiked them.
好兴奋，害怕，开心。
And I gave him options. I said, were you excited? Were you happy? Were you scared? Like what?
晒。
哦，那你叫什么呢？
郑鹤。
郑鹤。
对，仙鹤的鹤。
很复杂，我叫凯恩。
你好。
你的朋友叫什么呢？
I asked her her name, and I asked her, what's your friend's name? And notice I'm still holding her hand, right?
吕媛。我也请你的手。你们有没有觉得压力？一个外国人突然来了。
So I said, I'm going to kiss your hand too. Do you guys feel much pressure with me doing this?
还是你们的手。
And the girl's like, no, it's totally fine.
那如果我们做更过分的呢？
And I said, what if we do something like a bit next level?
谢谢。
And then they're like, ha ha ha, okay.
更过分的。
And I'm like, what about this?
你好高啊！
The other one's just not good looking, so I actually don't want to bring her close to me.
真的矮一点。
She said, oh, you're tall, right? You're too tall. So then, or she said, you are very tall. So then I like went down a bit in height to make it easier for her to have her arm around me.
那我们这样过分吧？看到你极限在哪里？啊！
See the speed in which I went in at? It was reasonably slow. So I mean, she has the time to go back and go, oh no, haha, I'm a high self-esteem Asian girl.
是极限。
But I mean, look how much fun they're having, right? And how skeezy is this? I mean, really, it's like off the open. It's like, hey, I'm gonna just like be on you.
如果闭上眼睛呢？
And anyway, she was like, oh, ha ha ha, like a bit too much pressure. I'm like, well, what if you close your eyes?
看不到，没有过了这个事情。
So then I'm not going for the full makeout because I think that's like too big of a jump for her. I'm just like kissing her. I think he was on the neck or the cheek.
那可以啊，他很
And then I'm like, oh, you went with it, great.
勇敢。
And I like do the bump on the stomach as encouragement.
还好还好。
你们是什么地方人？
And then she was like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, where are you from? So where are you from doesn't fit with this at all, right? Why do I do that?
Scramble a brain.
Yeah. So I'm trying to operate at a much faster speed than she can by throwing things at her she can't keep up with. If I kept it as all one thing, like I want to touch you, I want to talk to you, I want to touch you, I want to talk to you, I want to be close to you, she can kind of pick up on that and develop some obstacles to throw in the way. But if I keep throwing unexpected things, no chance.
我是沈阳的。
西阳。
沈阳。
She said she's from
哦，
somewhere.
辽宁那边。
啊，对对，辽宁沈阳。
他也是吗？
Oh, from the north of China, Liaoning. I said, where's your friend from? So you notice like I also bring it back to the friend a bit. Now the friend isn't causing any problems at all, but I'm still trying to keep her somewhat involved in the set so it doesn't ruin everything. If you're gaming two girls, you want to try and keep them both somewhat busy.
侬會講上海話？侬會講上海話？
And I'm speaking Shanghaiese to this girl.
我不是上海人。
对，你在这边上学是？
And she's like, oh, I can't speak Shanghaiese. I'm like, oh, so you're here studying, but you're not like local, right?
还没有。
在这边上学。
那你们还上大学？
And I'm like, oh, you guys look like university
对
students.
不对？
啊，对对对。
And they're like, yep.
以为我是大学生。
I'm like, do you think I'm a university student? Obviously they don't.
看情况。
And they were like, depends on the situation, but yeah. So now I've got the, I don't want to call it rapey eye contact, but I've got the rapey eye contact going, right? Can you see clearly? I know it's a little bit like blurry here.
他觉得我不是。那我们再冒险一下吧。
啊？
再冒险一下吧。
So I said, oh, do you want to take another risk?
什么？
我们再冒险一下吧。
哦。
闭上眼睛。
And she's like, okay. And I said, close your eyes.
吓我一跳。
所以你现在还没有亲过澳大利亚人，就是这样子。
好，谢谢谢谢。
I said something about
谢谢你给我
Australia.
这么一次不同凡响的体验。
And she said, oh, well, thanks for giving me this different, interesting experience.
我只想看看你们的极限在哪里，因为我现在是给你们很多压力，对不对？
And I said, yeah, I'm like just trying to mess with you guys, see what happens if I give you like a bit of pressure.
啊，没有没有没有没有。
And she's like, no, it's
我
fine.
说实话，我觉得你挺好看，这是为什么？
And then I'm like, well, actually, it's also because I think you're like really good looking.
谢谢谢谢谢谢。
你们现在在去做什么呢？
And then I'm like, oh, so what are you guys doing now?
逛街。
They're like shopping.
哦，他买的东西。
I'm like, oh, where's the thing? Oh, you bought this. What is it?
挺好。他准备买什么东西呢？
And I'm like, what is she gonna buy?
Nothing.
没钱。
And I said, she doesn't have any money, right?
贫穷。
要找一个。
And then her friend said, yeah, she's super poor.
帅哥给你买东西。
帅哥。
And I said, oh, you should find like a handsome dude or handsome rich dude to buy you stuff.
他已经有帅哥。
And I'm like, she already has a handsome dude.
我们两个。
OK， 我也有。
And then she said, oh, yeah, I also want a handsome dude.
哦，你的这个掉了。
And then her purse dropped again.
谢谢。
啊，你。
And I'm like, how tall are you?
挺好。
So I mean, this is not like great in terms of running solid game towards a particular objective, but all I'm really doing here is just like messing with them, and that's why I'm throwing lots of random stuff at them.
你觉得我多高？
And I'm saying, how tall are you? She told me. I'm like, how tall do you think I am?
90。
低一点差不多。
86。
And she like is guessing heights.
很接近了就可以了。
来，我们会继续这边，我们去那边继续爬。
I'm like, oh, we're gonna keep going over there and take more video now.
好开心认识你，你敢不敢做？
So I kiss her on the hand, and I'm like, all right, well, how about you try going for the most next level dare?
能过分的骂，那个过分的骂什么？最后
I mean, here's your last chance.
最后一个机会。
好好好好。
And she's like, okay.
All right, bye bye then.
And obviously no tongue. No, I mean, if she's gonna meet me again, what was it gonna be? Like, hey, I'm the really skeezy dude you met on the street who was like being all scummy. Sure, this is the 13-second one, and we're done. Yo, tall girl. What, can you hear me? She's got headphones in. Oh, you're very tall. Wait. You're tall. I want to talk to you because I like tall girl.